Hello, YouTube. What's going on? Here's something I don't get people's stupidity on cameras in public. The government is filming you every day. So if somebody's walking around the streets or wherever, whatever, and they're filming, how stupid are you to walk up to a camera and say, I don't want to be filmed today? How stupid is that? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. If somebody had a gun out, pointing it at everything, would you walk up to them and say, I don't want to be shot today? If you don't want to be filmed, God forbid, don't walk up to a camera. These people that walk up to a camera, to these First Amendment auditors, and say that I don't want to be filmed today, but yet I don't want to be filmed today. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. And especially if you're a pastor of a church, or some organization, or a business owner or something. You don't want to make the church or your business or anything look bad, so why would you walk up and make yourself look retarded or stupid? See, too many people want liberty, they want freedom, they want their constitutional rights, but they hate when people actually exercise their constitutional rights and their freedom. So, actuality, it's rules for thee, but or rules for me, but not for you. You know, rules for me, not for thee, or however that goes. But anyways, oh my God, see, this is so stupid. It's got my brain in a twist. Somebody walking down the street filming what they can film from public accessible areas, and they can see anything from those accessible areas, and you're walking up to them and say, why are you filming? You know what they're going to most likely tell you? They're going to tell you it's none of your dang business. They're most likely going to look at you and say, you idiot. None of your stupid business. And then these law enforcement officers that think that they can arrest you just because you are filming in public accessible areas, or these tyrannical sheriffs that decide that they're not going to give you information that is public accessible information, you know, through the Freedom of Information Act, that makes you, the sheriff, or chief of police, or whatever, look bad. Do you think we want you in office if you're going to act like that and treat the public like that? No, we don't want you in office. We're most likely going to get you out, because once we figure out that your deputies or your officers are costing the city or county or even state money because of lawsuits or criminal legality, do we want you in enforcing laws if you don't know understand laws or constitutional rights and freedom? No. Do we want officers that look stupid on film then end up on YouTube or end up going across country to go meet with a 15-year-old girl or a teenage girl and kill the whole family, and that's a blue line criminal, you know, that ended up killing himself, getting killed in a shootout with police because he was law enforcement that was catfishing this girl, and yet he was law enforcement. Do we want that kind of stuff? No. See, the steady incline of blue line criminals is increasing because they honestly think that they have the right to do whatever they want. They honestly think they can arrest people for no charges and get away with it. How many people every year have their lives destroyed by law enforcement, or get phone calls to law enforcement because you're doing something constitutionally protected or that's not illegal, and so law enforcement comes out and then they just start escalating things, and then somebody gets killed because you made a phone call that, hey, you don't like what they're doing, you're offended, and yet now your offended feelings gets somebody killed or beat up or are falsely arrested. Yeah, thank you. You just fuck somebody's world up just because you don't like what they're doing. Huh, imagine that. So, do you want constitutional rights and freedom and liberties for all? You know, as the Pledge of Allegiance says, justice and liberty for everybody. You know the pledge, go through the pledge and read it. Go through the Constitution and read it. Go through constitutional rights and read it. That goes for all American citizens. So, actuality, if your state is trying to make up these BS laws to violate your rights, like ATF trying to make up these unconstitutional rules about your AR-15 pistol. Oh, it can't do this, and we got to run it through a checklist. No, you ain't running it through a checklist. I don't have to report nothing. If you come to my door, I'm going to say, what AR pistol? I got rid of it. I don't know what you're talking about. If the sheriff says I ain't going to give you no information on my bad deputy, oh, you know what? I'm getting it because I'm going to file a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. And if you violate that, you're committing a crime. So that makes you a blue line criminal. If your deputies or officers ever talk to me, I'm going to record them. I'm not going to answer a question. I'm not giving up my ID because 3802 in Texas says I don't have to give up my ID unless I'm committing a crime. So which crime am I committing? I'm going to go through this bill and I'm going to make their life miserable. And I guarantee you, if they falsely arrest me, I'm going to make their life miserable for the next 100 years. I'm going to make the sheriff's life miserable. I'm going to make the judge's life miserable. Anybody that is included on this, the state, county, city, whatever, I'm going to make that area miserable. Because I'm going to come after you. I'm going to come after your bond. I'm going to come after everything. See, law enforcement and judges and all these people have bonds. You can go after those bonds. And if you take those bonds away from them, qualified immunity goes away. And then also, when qualified immunity goes away, bond goes away, they are not law enforcement anymore. They can't be law enforcement ever, period. So you go after the bonds. See, corruption needs to be cured at state and local levels and then go up to federal levels, because if you have a good foundation in your local levels that believe in constitutional rights and freedom, then when federal government comes down, your city and state will support you. See, if you don't have a good foundation, your foundation will crumble. So, to all these people that believe that blue line criminals can't commit no wrong, you're wrong. Back to blue until it happens to you. So, actuality, we need to hold law enforcement, local, sheriff, ATF, everybody, all of them, accountable. You never talk to them. You record them. You never give them any information, because that information can and will be held against you in the court of law. Remember that it can and will be held. Now, when they go to fill out their little paperwork, it's always funny how they end up lying or leaving out different parts of information. You know, you would go to get that information and there's lies written on that paperwork. Then you get the body cam, and the body cam contradicts everything. But government body cams get redacted. So what, you know what they do? They blur out the face. You can't see it. They blur out the information. They blur out everything. See, government redacts everything because they want to hide what they're doing. So only criminals, thieves, and thugs and tyrants and traitorous government hides what they're doing. Those people that are scared of the truth, scared of the facts, scared of everything, they are the ones that hide in the shadows. So actuality, when government is hiding something, that means they know they're doing something wrong. And like I said in the beginning, I don't get people when they walk up to a camera and say, I don't want to be recorded. Don't walk up to a camera if you don't want to be recorded. If I'm out walking around recording in public and you walk up to my camera and say, I don't want to be recorded, I'm going to call you a freaking idiot. You are a freaking idiot. You're a freaking moron. And if government comes up and starts, law enforcement, government, whatever, starts spewing these unconstitutional BS, I'm going to tell them they're a freaking idiot. Because ATF, you can't write laws. You're not allowed to write laws. Only Congress is allowed to write laws. That is constitutional. Government, president approved it or disapproved it or whatever. There's checks and balances in government. And you are not lawmakers. You're law enforcement, ATF. I'm calling you out, ATF. ATF is a dumb fuck. It's a lost cause. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearm. Constitutional rights. Alcohol. It's in the constitutional rights too because, it's been repealed and all that. Tobacco, not illegal. Huh, imagine that. So you're outdated. We have no need for you, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. We have no need for you. We have no need for the DEA anymore because apparently the DEA is not really doing anything to help us out. They're just wrecking families. Homeland Security, same thing. They're wrecking families. How many people are dying each year because of law enforcement? Because SWAT team went into the wrong house and shot up a family? Or how many people are dying each year because of criminal law enforcement where they just went and killed 3 people? One of them went and killed 3 people in California when he was from West Virginia. There was a report, and I think it was like over somewhere around 1,600 people each year get killed by law enforcement wrongfully or whatever it is. They started doing their count, their body count. It's probably way higher than that. I believe it's way higher than that. It's on a steady incline that you keep seeing these law enforcement officers being charged, being fired, being suspended with pay, which shouldn't be. They should be fired immediately, period. Gone, out. Then it takes years to get them prosecuted because they are blue line thugs. So actuality, everybody's going after, worried about Donald Trump and all that. Well, hey, I hope he runs. I'll be honest, I hope he does. Just to make the liberals and the Democrats mad. But also, I want accountability in my government from local levels on up to the very top. Donald Trump. I want accountability. I want accountability for Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. I want accountability for everyone. Under the same law, same constitutional rights and freedom. I want accountability. I want my freedom to exercise my constitutional rights and freedom without fear of my government killing me or beating me or falsely arresting me or wrecking my life. I want people educated on their constitutional rights and freedom to know that cameras are not illegal. To be filming in public is not illegal. To film law enforcement is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. To stand there at a traffic stop and record law enforcement is a great thing because you're holding them accountable. That's in the First Amendment. Freedom of press, freedom to hold grievances against the government, freedom to hold your government accountable. I want people educated on the facts, the truth, not the lies that the media is pushing. I don't like racism that they're pushing against the white people, but yet the black people are so brainwashed that think that we hate black people. We don't hate black people. I hope they don't hate me because I'm white. I hate the divisiveness in this country. I hate labels. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a conservative. I'm a constitutional American. That's it. No labels. Constitutional, God-fearing American. That's me. And if you believe the same way, which I hope you do, that your constitutional rights and God first, constitutional rights and freedom, or freedom under God, is more important than government. See, government has never done anything good throughout history. If you look at history, what is the main problem that the human race has? It's government. It's overreach. It's control. See, now they got this AI system that they're talking about where they can look at you in a crowd and tell if you have a gun. They can tell who you are by facial recognition. That's government overreach. That's Big Brother watching on you. You need to wake up. The government is trying to survey your whole life. They want to know exactly what you're doing. They have Chinese troops and soldiers here in police departments, and they're Chinese run police departments. Why? Why are Chinese run police departments here? They should not be here. Period. See, our tyrannical, treasonous government has allowed China to step foot on our land. That should be an act of war. But yet the American people are too asleep and brain dead to recognize that we have acts of war happening when all these cartel members are coming across Mexico, the Rio Grande and everywhere else, coming from Mexico, and they're committing violence and whatever against the American people. That's an act of war. See, there's so many acts of war against the American people right now. People are not recognizing it. They're trying to steal our rights and our freedom. There's a Democratic senator. I think he's a senator. Anyways, he's trying to make it so in Kentucky, I think it's Kentucky, that 2 counties is considered an unconstitutional zone. Or you can't carry your guns. 2 counties where they have permitless carry, which is basically constitutional carry. 2 counties, if you go drive through this county and you're carrying because you're carrying permitlessly, you get stopped in these 2 counties, they're going to arrest you. God forbid you get tied up in those 2 counties. See, that shouldn't be allowed because that's a violation of the Constitution. It says shall not be infringed, period. No questions asked. Period. And yet we're allowing it. When is the American people going to be so mad at all these lawsuits against law enforcement, lawsuits against government, all these gun companies that are being sued because some idiot takes their gun that they sold to this idiot unknowingly sold it to him. That's like driving a Ford and somebody gets in a drunk driving accident and now you're going to sue Ford because somebody was driving a Ford? So when are we going to stop this infringement on our rights? They got Daniel Defense is being sued by Uvalde. these people in Uvalde, Texas, because this kid carried in Daniel Defense guns. Daniel Defense had nothing to do with it. This idiot and the law enforcement that didn't act, 79 minutes, they didn't do squat, and yet you backed the blue when they didn't do squat and allowed these kids to die. You backed the blue blindly, but yet these kids are dying. You back the blue when every time there's a criminal cop arrested and charged and lawsuits are lost because of these criminal. You back the blue. Why? Why back the blue? Tell me, why? Why? When they violate constitutional rights and freedom on a daily, hourly basis. Why? Yes, they do good, but hey, Hitler did good too. He fed his people. And you look what happened to Hitler. Come on, man. Seriously? Overreach of government, corruption in government has went way too far. And people like me are so frustrated hearing about it, and we're so tired about hearing about it. We're so tired of hearing the patriots saying, we must do something. What are you doing today at your local level to address the corruption in your own town? How much corruption do you know about in your own town? Have you went and did Freedom of Information Act? Have you went and recorded law enforcement on traffic stops? Have you went to hold government accountable? What have you done? I can honestly say I haven't done much because I don't have a vehicle to go do all that. I don't have the funds to do all that. See, government is charging for information that should be free. When you do a Freedom of Information Act, they charge you for that. That is corruption. That is taxation for information that should be free. Taxation without representation. See, government is also stealing people's cars with these parking violations off of the streets in some cities. Democratic-run cities are the most corrupt, violent, dirtiest, nastiest places to be. Democratic-run, liberal-run cities have the highest crime rate, and yet people are sitting back and going, oh God. How many people can be on YouTube talking about this stuff, and yet you turn a blind eye to it? You all say, oh, well, it doesn't happen. Yes, it does. There's so many videos of cops being rude, nasty, and being tyrannical and threatening to falsely arrest people and doing all this stuff. And yet I hear these so-called patriotic people sit here going, it doesn't happen. Cops wouldn't do that. How many videos do you want me to bring up? How many videos do you want me to post? I can't keep up with them. There's so many of them out there, I can't keep up with them. But yet, back to blue until it happens to you. Back to blue until your family gets hurt or beat or falsely arrested or your life is destroyed by the blue. Which is run by the government. Which is we, the people, are supposed to be running the government. But the government is trying to run us. I hope American public wakes up soon. I really seriously do. God bless. Have a great day. Wake up, please.